she was let go because of racism.
Denise Bennett and her sister Annette are homegrown, born and raised Kinley natives. Bennett attending the council meeting last night, where in a 3-2 vote, town manager Justine Jones' contract was terminated. They're not surprised.
As much as it's a wonderful, feel good, people like each other, friendly, Kinley, there is and there has been that history of racism.
In fact, Annette was one of the first African Americans to integrate the school system here.
From the walk home from Kinley Elementary to our home, people walking behind us, calling us names and so forth.
Census data showing there are nearly 1,500 people that call this town home, with white residents making up the majority, followed by blacks, Hispanics, Asians, and American Indian. Kinley resident Nancy Kate says there's no race problem here.
I don't like the fact they said that because I can call anyone, any color.
Kate's telling me Kinley officers resigned because Jones was hired, creating a toxic work environment. But an investigation found that was not true.
I'm glad she's gone. She shouldn't have been hired to start with.
And now it's a waiting game on what happens next in this small town located east of the Triangle. These sisters with a message for town manager Justine Jones.
She made a difference. She gave us hope for a little while. Do not internalize this. This had absolutely nothing to do with you, your competence, your performance. You were never given a chance to do your job.
And Justine Jones just released a 3-paragraph statement to us. She says her goal was to always represent the people of Kinley in the best manner possible. And she was selected because of her core principles, to who she spoke to as a leader. Her last day on the job is this Friday. We're live in Kinley. Akilah Davis, ABC 11, Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Keela, she goes on to say she wasn't able to accomplish all the goals in that short time, but she's hoping that everyone who comes behind her will continue the work that she hoped for that community. Akilah Davis reporting. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, many of you probably heard the story of Justine Jones, and she went to a place called Kinley as the town manager, and the white people there didn't like them hiring this black woman as township manager. You heard what that fat woman with the rotted looking teeth said. She's glad she shouldn't have been hired in the first place. I bet every dime in my wallet this woman is much better accomplished, probably got more education and a lot going for herself and her background than that woman ever will. So, ladies and gentlemen, Friday is her last day. This is really an unfortunate thing, but it goes on all across America. Many of you might have even experienced these incidents where you get on jobs and they mysteriously need to push the black person out so they can bring one of their buddies or relatives that are in need of a job. It's always that black person that must go so they can take that job. These things happen all the time. They're going to just bring in a white replacement, and all the people that walked away and refused to work, they'll suddenly come back. Okay. And it is all about race. They didn't want to work under a black woman. Okay. It was something about her background that they liked enough to bring her in. Now, all of a sudden, she gets terminated. Yeah. We know what this is. It is the thing that we see across America, jobs. And many of you, if you have experienced this or have a family member that they were working and they were doing fine in their job and then they abruptly got terminated, because this happens. We know this. Let me know in the comment section. This is a very well-known thing in the black community. Very well known. So they had an emergency meeting on Tuesday, and the town voted 3-2 to terminate Justine Jones' contract. And the good part is this woman lawyered up, and I hope she goes after all of these people involved that they did this to her. They did it to her. When they realized a black woman was coming in, they were trying to get on out of there. They don't want to work under a black woman. There are many of them that believe that should never happen, despite the fact that we've been looking at poor leadership for 500 years. This is what they believe. Leadership is horrible in America. It has been from day one, and it's still bad. Look at all of these things going on. Do it look like they got anything under control? They don't have nothing under control. And the winter is going to bring that next spiritual black eye to them. You're already warning, and I got a video coming out a little later about why they know this is going to be a bad winter. And I will bring that out and we'll talk about it in the comment section. But I feel for her, because this woman moved to come to this location to take over the township management job. And at the end of the day, racism pushed her out of this position. That's what happened. So, she said she had set goals as the township manager and she wanted to get things done. And that is a very good concept, and she should always keep good work ethics. But not for these folks. Not for these folks. Whatever good ideas or plans you were going to implement, you take that with you. Don't let them have none of it. None of it. For real. So, she's just saying anybody that comes behind her, she hope they can fulfill. But, I wouldn't even worry about who comes behind me, especially if I'm being pushed out a job like this. To hell with that. Let them fumble their way through. They act like they live in the middle of Beverly Hill. It looks just like some little tiny rinky dink town. I really don't see what the big deal is. They act like they're in the middle of Beverly Hills or something. So, anyway, you saw the demographics of the town, and that is your problem right there. That is your problem. And these folks don't want change. Remember, equality is like racism to them. Equality is racism. So, jobs are out here. She'll find another job, especially if she has the background that I have heard about. She will definitely get another job. But my advice to her is make sure you study the area, look at the demographics in that area, look at the history of the area, look at the kind of crime that happens in that area. If things don't look right, that is not the place for you, plain and simple. But don't just up and move and not fully understand what the people are like wherever you go, or wherever you decide to move. Always make sure you study the area, look at their racist history. Okay, you can find out a lot about towns online. There is so much information. You can even research if there were lynchings in those towns. You can still find that information. So don't overlook it. Do your due diligence before you take any big positions, or or you relocate for a job. What happened to her was completely unfair. It was completely unfair. But, we can't look for fairness in the land of oppression because it is simply not there. But, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.